Emmett, who is our in-house host now, I am going to just really take advantage of her in the most amazing way because I want you to just have fun and the most experience, and this is such a great venue for that. We're back, and we have with us Stacy and Valdi and they are really wonderfully talented young ladies, and I met them last year when they came to audition for me, actually, for a scholarship for Glee Summer Camp, which they both got, and they were a part of Glee Summer Camp last year. They are very talented young ladies and also just good little people. I'm so happy that you guys are here, and I love what you guys are doing, and I'm going to have Kennedy officially interview you. So here we go. Take it away.
Okay, so you guys have a web show called Enough is Enough. What made you want to start it?
Well,
get close to that mic. You know how it rolls.
We wanted to start like a show about something meaningful, and we could never really find something that was really important. And so one day Stacy came to me and she said, I have the perfect idea. And so I told her what? And she said, we should make a show about bullying. And so we went to a producer, which was Nicole Butler, and she told us basically how to start it and everything. And so we started it, and
now it exists. Now it's now it's there, and you can see it on YouTube, and I'm super excited that you guys did this, and you watched it, Kennedy.
I
Talk
did.
about your take on it.
I did. Well, I loved it. I took away a lot from it, and I think a lot of other people can too, and the fact that they're so young, so inspirational. And I was, telling Cassandra that they kind of remind me of me when I was younger, and I love that you guys, want to make a difference and want to make an impact. So it's great.
And I think, it speaks really highly of you ladies. This is something that you should know. Kennedy is 16, right? And I am 40. And it's really cool that you're at your age, what you want to do, what you said is important, and what you want to share to make it better for other people. That affected her, that affected me, and look at the age difference, So you're affecting people on all levels, all races. Everybody in some way, shape, or form is affected by bullying, even as adults. Things happen all the time. You want me to share a little story with you? That happened to me. This happened last year. Okay, so here's my story. I was at the post office, and I was getting something out of my trunk, and the longer you guys get to know me, of course, as Richard knows, I'm crazy busy, and my car sometimes ends up being, it ends up being a costume storage. It's, Christmas, it's just crazy, and I do Nutcracker, and I do Charlie Brown at Christmas, and so I have all this stuff sort of in my trunk, and I'm throwing costumes up and trying to find this box that I'm going to go mail at the post office for my nieces in Minnesota. And this woman just rolls down her window, and she says, "You are not supposed to park there." And I said, "Well, I'm going into the post office. Am I in a handicapped spot? And I'm looking around." And I said, "Well, why not? I'm going to the post office." And she said, "No, you're not, and you look ridiculous," and then drove off. Now, there's no reason for that, right?
That's not cool.
So my response to her was, "Merry Christmas," because I just felt like at some point, whatever was wrong or whatever she was upset about had nothing to do with me. And it's really important in those situations. It's really hard when you're younger because you have to sort of talk to your friends or your sister, or you have to tell somebody. But I just want you guys to understand that that still happens when you're an adult, too. Don't you guys think that was kind of a form of bullying, what she did to me?
Yeah, exactly.
It was.
Totally.
That was just kind of being a little mean girl. But you know what? I think it was just better for me to not respond in a mean way because that could have escalated to something not good, right? So it's super important. But watching that, I thought, I even told my friends, I said, that makes me feel better about not yelling back at that lady. Because, I wanted to, but it wasn't a good choice. So it was a better choice to sort of stand up for yourself, be there for people who can't stand up for themselves, and have a venue like your show to show people that it's okay, and there's people that you can talk to. And what are some of the ways that you guys, handle that? Kennedy, I know you had some questions for them about that.
Well, I was going to ask that. Said, what advice would you give to kids or just anyone who's being bullied?
To the people that are being bullied, I would just tell them to
stand up for yourself and don't let anybody bring you down and don't let anybody lower your self-esteem because that will only drive you all the way to the edge.
To the edge meaning I could have said something bad to that lady, but I didn't, right?
Yeah.
Valdi, go ahead, jump in there.
Well, for your story, like, it could have been worse. Like, you could have screamed back at her, and it could have, like, you could have gotten into a fight or something.
Yeah.
You could have, like, really yelled at her and been very mean. So, like, you don't need to yell back at them. Just tell them, like, that's enough. That's enough. Just stop.
And, you know, I think it's so hard to make that choice, right? Especially when you're in the moment. It's easy for us to talk about it now, but when you're in the moment, you know, your emotions are going, and there's this sort of energy that